Hi, welcome to Coed, Song of the Trees podcast, where today I'm going to explain the art and technology fusion that I use when I'm working with trees that enable me to create sound sculptures from beneath the soil. But first, let me describe what is happening beneath the bark, because I think that will help you to understand my process. Inside the tree, there is a phenomenal pumping system. Think about it. Trees are pumping water upwards, when, as we know, water likes to flow downwards. The roots of the tree bring up about 10 gallons of water per inch of trunk girth. So, to make the maths easy, a tree with a 10-inch girth is pumping about 150 gallons of water every week. That's about 600 gallons a month. As an aside, have you ever wondered where that water goes when we cut the trees down? Kind of gives us an insight into flooding, doesn't it? Now, not only does the tree need this huge quantity of water, as I've said earlier, it has to pump it against gravity. Water wants to flow down, not up. You never see a river running uphill, do you? So inside the trunk, the tree has two types of tubes, the phloem and the xylem, both of which carry the water. Now the xylem travels one way and the phloem has a two-way water system, and it contains minerals and proteins inside the water. The water is forced up the tree by splinter-like spikes inside the trunk, up into the branches and then into the leaves, where it dissipates into the air. Sometimes you might see a mist over a rainforest, and this is what's happening. It's the water dissipating from the leaves, and then that water is taken up by the clouds rain, and the whole cycle begins again. It's absolutely immense when you think it through. Trees are vessels that hold the waters of the earth. So, what has this got to do with my practice as an environmental sound artist? When the water is travelling in the tree, this causes a conductivity, and I use a wide range of technological equipment, apps and meters to measure this, taking readings from the root to the leaf, transposing these into digital sound, which I then take back to my studio and notate into tree-led music. This whole process began for me when I started repurposing the technology that fuels my hearing aids, looking specifically at spectral frequency and digital sound. And now some of my equipment is biomedical, such as my electronic stethoscope. Some is technological, having been used in the past to measure perspiration. But the difference is, I'm not looking at this equipment through a scientific pair of eyes. I'm looking at it through the eyes of an artist. And so, perhaps I have more innovative and creative ways of applying scientific models. And alongside this, I continue to use the more traditional sound equipment that we might associate with sound art, such as digital recorders and microphones with shields, and of course my blimp, which is the big furry mic shield that you may have seen people use on television. It's used to reduce wind noise. Now, having said that, as an environmental sound artist, sometimes I like to record the wind and notate it. You can hear that actually as part of my previous work with Cadw at the flood defence walls on the Millennium Coastal Path. So I collate all of these sounds without judgment from within and outside of nature, and bring them back to my studio to catalogue and compose with them. What I love most about composing in collaboration with a tree is that all the rules of music go out of the window. I don't try to bend, interpret or shape the biorhythms to fit convention. Instead, just lightly shape the composition. Trees don't have beats and rhythms and scales. When I was working with the rowan tree at Coed Cadw, the gaps between biorhythms were so long that Alison, my hearing assistant, and me, we wondered if it had stopped altogether. And I have left those long spaces in the composition. After all, it was Mozart himself who said that music is not the notes, but the silence in between. And I feel there is something so incredibly powerful about what humans will find an uncomfortable rest between sounds. But silence is a sound, just as 0 is a number. And it's made me really excited about the potential for creating performance from this work. I can imagine a pianist poised and the audience at first waiting for the notated biorhythm and perhaps becoming agitated, wanting it to flow in the traditional way. And my instinct tells me that the more accustomed and accepting they become throughout the piece, the more they will settle and let the tree lead, just as we did on the side of that mountain in Snowdonia when collecting the biorhythms. I hope this explains my practice and process as an environmental sound artist and helps you to understand my work more clearly. Thank you so much for joining me on this fascinating, life-changing delve beneath the bark. Your connection to my work means a great deal to me. This work is part of my Unlimited commission funded by the Arts Council of Wales. My Celtic Rainforest Residencies are organised by Coed Cadw, the Welsh branch of the Woodland Trust, supported by the Celtic Rainforest Project with the RSPB, Snowdonia National Trust and the Wildlife Society. My name is Cheryl Beer. I am the conduit composer, notating nature so that you might hear her better.